the BLISS Business Podcast, the show about empathy, connection, and consciousness in business. Today's episode is brought to you by Zero Company, your paid search, social media, and programmatic ad experts.
Welcome back to the BLISS Business Podcast. I'm Tullio, and today we're talking about customer experience, and this is a big one. A lot of companies treat customer experience like a front-end issue. They focus on scripts, messaging, service standards, brand polish, and response templates, all very important things. And those things do matter, but they're not the starting point. Customer experience starts inside the company. Customer experience, the downstream is the customers experience the downstream effects of internal culture, internal alignment, and internal design. They may never see the org chart. They may never sit in a leadership meeting. They may never hear the internal friction. Still, they feel all of it. They feel it in slow responses. They feel it in inconsistent communication. They feel it in broken handoffs. They feel it in overpromising. They feel it in defensive language when something goes wrong. And they feel it in how quickly ownership appears when there is a problem. This is why BLISS has such a direct business impact. BLISS is not only internal well-being, BLISS is customer trust in motion. When teams are aligned, customers feel consistency. When teams trust each other, customers feel confidence. When teams have agencies, customers feel responsiveness. And when teams feel safe telling the truth internally, customers get better answers externally. This is the connection many businesses miss. They try to improve customer experience without improving the human systems delivering it. That works for a little while. Then the same issues show up again and again because the source was never fixed. A company can train frontline teams to sound caring, but if the internal system's chaotic, the care will eventually feel thin. A company can say it values customers, but if internal priorities conflict and decisions are slow, customers will experience delay, confusion, and inconsistency. A company can publish brand values, but if internal behavior is fear-based, customers will feel the emotional leakage. They may not be able to describe it, but they will sense that something is just off. So if we want better customer experience, we have to ask a different question. Not how do we say the right things to customers, but what is the internal environment producing that customers are feeling? Because customer experience is not a department. It is an outcome. It is the combined result of how marketing sets expectations, how sales makes promises, how product or delivery performs, how operations supports, and how customer success responds. If those functions are misaligned, the customer experience becomes inconsistent, no matter how hard individuals try. This is where BLISS becomes operational. BLISS stands for Build Love into Scalable System. If love is operational, it shows up as clear ownership, so customers do not get bounced around. It shows up as fast escalation, so issues do not linger. It shows up as honest communication, so expectations are managed properly. It shows up as respect for the customer's time, so handoffs are clean. And it shows up with accountability without blame, so teams fix the root cause of problems instead of hiding the issue. Those are not marketing ideas. Those are operating system ideas. And they shape the brand more than any tagline ever will. Now let's talk about authenticity, because this is the marketing angle that really matters. A company cannot sustainably project authenticity if it has friction internally. The market can feel when a company is coherent versus when it's performing. Coherence means the message matches the experience. When the message says we are responsive and the company is responsive, trust rises. When the message says we are a partner and the company behaves like a partner, loyalty grows. But when the message says one thing and the internal system produces something else, the gap becomes brand damage. Not because the marketing was bad, but because the organization could not deliver what was promised. This is why internal alignment is a marketing responsibility too. Marketing sets expectations. Expectations are promises. Promises must be delivered. If the internal system cannot reliably deliver, marketing either has to lower the promise or help the organization raise its capabilities. Those are the only two honest options. Now let's make this practical. If you want to diagnose customer experience issues, do not start with the customer scripts. Start with where the internal friction exists. Here are 5 internal signals that usually predict customer pain. First, unclear ownership. If teams do not know who owns the outcome, customers get bounced around, delayed, or ignored. Second, slow decision making. If decisions require too many approvals or unclear escalation paths, customers wait longer and feel uncertainty. Third, weak cross-functional handoffs. If sale does not hand off cleanly to delivery or customer success, customers experience confusion immediately. Fourth, fear-based communication. If teams are afraid to report bad news, customers get surprised instead of transparency. And fifth, inconsistent operating rhythms. If teams do not have a steady cadence for reviewing blockers and commitments, issues build quietly until they become customer impacting failures. These are internal design issues, and they're fixable. This is why we say customer experience is not a front-end project. Customer experience is a leadership project. It is the result of how the organization is designing to work under stress. Now, let us connect this to measurable business impact. When internal bliss is high, customer trust rises, and that affects retention because customers stay with companies that feel reliable. It impacts referrals because people recommend experiences they trust. It improves price tolerance because trust reduces price sensitivity. It increases sales efficiency because fewer deals are lost to credibility gaps. And it improves service costs because fewer issues become escalations and rework. And finally, it strengthens the brand because consistency creates belief. This is not theoretical. Trust is a business asset. Bliss is how the asset is produced. So here's a tangible move for this week. Run a customer experience alignment audit. Bring marketing, sales, delivery of product, and customer success into one conversation and answer these 4 questions. What are the 3 promises we are making to the market right now? What does the customer experience need to be for those promises to feel true? Where does the experience currently break down most often? And what is one internal friction point we can remove in the next 30 days? Then pick one friction point and fix it. Not with a policy memo, with a design change. Clarify the ownership, tighten the handoff, speed up decision paths, create a weekly rhythm for blockers, and set a clear escalation rule. One fix done well can change the customer experience faster than a dozen brand workshops. Bliss is what makes customer experience believable, and it is how organizations turn promises into reality, and it is how authenticity becomes something the market can actually feel. Thank you for listening to the Bliss Business Podcast. Next week, we're going to talk about AI and culture and why AI will amplify your organization's operating system, not fix it. Until then, stay blissful.